Don't let the heat of the moment catch you off guard. Northwest Fire District Public Education Team offers a range of programs including fire and life safety community education, fire extinguisher training, car seat inspections, babysitting programs, senior safety talks, engine demonstrations, and station tours. Your well-being is our priority. For more information, visit nwfdaz.gov or call us at 520-887-1010. Together, we can create a safer and more informed community.
Are you over the age of 50 and looking for adventure in southern Arizona? Then look no further than the Town of Marana Senior Program, which offers monthly day trips to various destinations such as Tombstone, Apple Annie's, Wilcox, Queen Creek Olive Mill, Dolly Steamboat, and more. Join the adventure and meet new people while discovering everything our beautiful region has to offer. Learn more about upcoming trips by visiting maranaaz.gov/team senior.
Welcome to Real Talk with the Town, where I sit down with Marana staff to answer your burning questions about our beautiful community. My name is Terry Rozema, and I'm the town manager for the town, so let's get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Real Talk with the Town. My name is Terry, and I am your host, and today we're going to be talking about, 1 year later, the food bank. And today we have with us the Executive Director of the Marana Food Bank, Carlos Valles.
Good morning, Terry.
Did I say that right?
You said it right.
I said it perfectly. All right.
Yep.
That's good.
Yep.
Well, Carlos, good to have you back on the show. It was about a year ago that we had you on the show. So we're going to talk a little bit about things that have been going on here in the last year. But before we get to that, I want to talk about, since although you're not a Marana resident, you have been spending some time up here because you're the Executive Director of the Marana Food Bank and also the Salrito Food Bank.
Correct.
But what kinds of things? Have you gotten involved and engaged in anything here in Marana recently?
So believe it or not, when my wife and I moved to Arizona, we lived in Marana for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And I was stationed at Davis-Monthan. And so for a short time, we lived here in the community. So this was a long time ago. So it's 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so just seeing the growth has been incredible. But now that I spend a lot of time up here for work, I'm trying to see what I can experience. Mm-hmm. And so my parents were here from Texas visiting, and so we brought them to the Fall Festival, and we got to experience, how should I say this? The kind of like the outdoor experience. You know, it's a mm-hmm. very family-centered community, which for me personally, that touches home. And got to experience the Ferris wheel with my dad and one of my little girls, and we got to see a 360-degree view of Marana, and I could not believe how big the community
is. Growing.
Yeah, so it's wonderful.
Yeah, so let me ask you this, since it was kind of you got mutton busting out there, and it's kind of a cowboy setting, and I know you got a pair of cowboy boots. You wear your cowboy boots out there, Carlos?
No, I could not wear the. I think I would shame the real cowboys.
Yeah.
So I left that attire at home for another event that I would. So
no cowboy hat and no cowboy.
No,
boots.
It was shorts and a t-shirt for that.
Okay, because they would have picked you out, wouldn't they?
Oh, quickly.
Yeah, they'd have known. You've never
No, they would have said, "Do you really know what a horse is?"
Never ridden a bull, never driven a tractor.
No, I would have been called out and singled out immediately.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that.
No.
But you had a good time.
Excellent time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And your parents, they're coming out to visit, you said, or did.
Yeah, and so I introduced my dad to Mayor Honey. And so my parents are looking at moving out to Arizona. So
that's all it took. Get introduced to Mayor Honey, and people want to move here.
You know, that's in a nutshell, that's almost what happened at that point. So
he's a good salesman.
Yeah, you know, it seems like a part-time realtor. So it was wonderful. You know, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Very good. Well, let's get into a little bit of what's going on here in the past year. It has been about a year now. So let's start off by talking about overall, how is it going for the Marana Food Bank? Are you guys feeling like you're hitting your stride? Are you still struggling? I mean, where are things at?
So let's go back to the 1 year anniversary. So December 1st of 2023, we moved in. We received the keys at 5 a.m. On that day. And so December 1st marks, this December 1st is going to mark our official 1 year anniversary here. When we started last year, we were going to take baby steps, but we've had a lot of big curveballs thrown our way. So we needed a refrigerator box truck, and in 60 days we raised $45,000 through a big community effort.
That's fantastic.
And so now we own an appropriately sized refrigerated box truck. So that was wonderful. And just maintaining the operations, fundraising, food donations, and then equally important is some of the other community resource programs that we hope to continue deploying here in the near future.
Outstanding. Now, one of the things that was kind of difficult for your volunteers is handing out food in the middle of summer, standing underneath that hot Arizona sun with no shade.
Yeah.
And tell me about, because I saw this amazing shade structure that you guys have out there. I don't know who built that thing, but it's very impressive. Actually, I guess I do know who built it because I know who donated the materials.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to segue into that.
All right.
We did not have an appropriate shade structure. We had purchased with the box truck when we picked it up in California. We purchased a 30 by 30 foot tent. And so we filled up the box truck with food from a wholesaler in California. We also purchased a tent. So there's a period of time that during the early part of summer, we did not have an appropriate shade structure. So we brought it back. Took us about 5 hours to set up this tent with about 10 of us. Mm-hmm. And then I kid you not even 2 weeks later, there was a major microburst that hit in that area. And the neighbors came over. They told us that their weather vane or whatever said that they record like a 77 mile per hour wind gust. And so that Monday morning, because the storm happened Sunday, Monday morning, that big 1,200-pound tent was on top of the food bank. And so we tried to salvage it.
1,200-pound tent?
1,200-pound tent.
Holy cow.
And I was actually braced, tied down to 600-pound barrels. Wow. And so it lifted not only that 1,200-pound tent, but probably about 4,000 pounds of weight. And so Monday morning, half the tent was on top of the food bank. It was mangled. We salvaged, I would say, about 70% of it. We ended up purchasing other things. We set up a team to put the tent up. And after we set it up, that very morning, Joe Parsons from Parsons Steel stopped by and he said, "Hey, we've got the permit. We've got everything ready to go to set up the permanent shade structure." And so it was eye-opening at that point because we said, you know what, this is finally what we've been needing and wanting. Because it is hot. And so this shade structure should outlast, I would say 99.9.
It'll be there for 1,000 years.
If it's gone, then that whole area is gone. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful. It's even larger. It's 30 by 40. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of local businesses came together to make this permanent shade structure happen, and without
giant I-beams that are in the ground and 8 feet deep in concrete.
Yeah,
that thing is so impressive, and I think here's what I really love about that, Carlos, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it was people that live in this community, that have businesses in this community that made that happen. I mean,
100%.
Parsons Steel, longtime residents of this community, grew up in this community. The name's really well known, and their company really stepped up and made that a reality for you guys. And there were a bunch of other people that pitched in on that. Cal Portland. I mean, huge. So, how does that make your team feel when the community rallies around you like that?
I think, and especially in a smaller community, because Marana is small compared to a lot of other, even Tucson. Marana's, I think just again, I want to touch on that family focused environment. It's a family feel here. And so whether we know each other or not, I think we embrace one another. And so when the community came together, it just reinforces what I've known since day one, which was 20 years ago when we moved here. And so anyone and everyone that I've talked to up here in Marana, in the community, there's always this warm welcome feel. So I knew that those are the values that were happening when this shade structure went up. And even when we painted the facility, when we moved in, we had a lot of local residents that wanted to participate. And, some said, I could only paint for an hour and I could only use a small brush, but they wanted to contribute. So that again reinforces that those family values.
Yeah, I love that, because I do think, and it's hard to put your finger on, but you know it when you see it, you know it when you feel it. It's palatable, that kind of, man, people are really here looking out for other people. And when you talk about a food bank, I mean, and if you can't get people excited about helping out a food bank, I don't know what else you can get excited. I mean, that is really a community coming together saying we care about those who are less fortunate than us, and we want to contribute, and whether that's monetarily or donating food or donating their time and labor and whatnot. That's fantastic.
Do you have a need for speed? Whether you want to improve your race time or just have fun, the Run Marana series has something for everyone. Choose your challenge and sign up for one of the 5 races held throughout the year. Visit maranaaz.gov/run to sign up. Your speed, your run, your town.
Property crimes are often the result of opportunity. You can take action to help reduce crime by starting a Neighborhood Watch program. Neighborhood Watch serves as a guide for more eyes and ears in your neighborhood. Contact the Marana Police Department Community Resource Unit at 520-382-2055 for more information.
Whether you're starting a business or looking to expand in Marana, our Town Development Services staff will walk you through the steps towards success. Learn about business licenses, development permits, business loans, local and state resources, and more. Let's get to work. For more information, visit maranaaz.gov/business development.
Let's talk a little bit. We got Thanksgiving right around the corner, right? I mean, we're just a month away or so. Yeah. 4.5 weeks away from Thanksgiving. And that's a time, obviously, when people get together with families and they eat a lot of really good food. But there are people who are certainly less fortunate and don't have that. So what is the food bank doing this Thanksgiving to kind of make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to have family Thanksgiving?
So food costs for us, I don't know what the national average is, but I'm assuming it's going to be close to what our food costs have risen over the past 24 months, even the last 12 months. But we've seen about a 22% increase in our emergency food purchases. So yes, we're able to purchase a lot more. So we get a little bit of a discount because we're able to leverage our buying power. But still, 22% is it's a huge number. And that if we're experiencing that, the individuals, the families that we're serving are of course experiencing that. So Thanksgiving tradition is one of our busiest times of the year, and also Christmas is also another busy time of the year. And again, I hate to again throw this out there, but the kitchen is usually the heart of the home. That's what brings families together. So Thanksgiving is when maybe grandma's coming over, the uncle's coming over to watch football with the dad, the kids are running in the backyard. But then you know what? We collectively come together. Neighbors might be involved, but this is a tough time of the year for many people because now you got multiple holidays. You got kids in school, you got Thanksgiving, you want to celebrate each other, and then not too far ahead, you have Christmas. So a lot of people are stressing this time of year. And so this is where we ask the community, when you're shopping, if you're buying canned corn, etc., buy an extra one.
Yeah.
Drop it off at the food bank. And so a lot of organizations they understand this. So Chase Building is donating 500 turkeys this year.
500 turkeys?
500 turkeys.
Oh, that's a lot of turkeys, man.
And so
Chase Building Team, they're actually, I'm sure you know this, they're building our community center and aquatic center over here.
and it's incredible.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
Yeah, that's another podcast in itself, but that's fantastic for them to step up and do that.
So, I ask fixings, stuffing, pumpkin pies.
Yeah.
As we get closer to Thanksgiving, drop off those donations. And, just a little makes it goes a long way, because we have a little bit from everyone that we can serve the nearly 1,000 families that we're serving every month.
Wow.
And so these are your friends, neighbors, and people out here in the community. So this is something that is much needed.
Well, with 500 turkeys, you're well on your way to being able to feed every family with a turkey, or to be able to give each family a turkey. So
Yes.
We'll keep pushing that, and hopefully we'll continue to get the donations, whether it's food or money, to enable the food bank to allow every single family in Marana to be able to have that with their families. Let's talk a little bit about the people that kind of make aside from like Louis Sell, who's up here and does an amazing job, and Veronica, and the others, the employees that are employed by. But there's a group of people that show up on a regular basis, and you get a great deal in terms of the work that they provide and what you have to pay them, because they're volunteers, right? And tell me about how it's going with volunteers there at the Marana Food Bank.
So let me share one thing. 8,800 hours.
Wow.
8,800 hours.
In less than a year.
And this is what we're on pace this year through December 31st of full-time equivalent support. So for us to put that for me to define that, it would require us to employ a group of people for 8,800 hours to maintain the operations.
Wow.
And so when you put a dollar figure to that support, that is huge. And that's something that we could never, ever budget. It would just really, affect our entire operations. So our volunteers, we are a volunteer-driven organization, because without our volunteers, we do not exist.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And so we have volunteers that work sorting things for us, checking dates, greeting the families that we're serving, building our shopping carts full of food, and even just handing out books, maybe talking to the families about the different resources that are being offered. So 8,800 hours is incredible, because it's something that we can't duplicate without their support. And again, they are the backbone to the organization.
So are you needing more volunteers?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
All right. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Residents of Marana, Carlos is calling you out. He needs some additional volunteers. If you want to know how to get involved with the community food bank here in Marana, how do they do that, Carlos? Is there somebody specifically they can reach out to? Do they go to the website? How do they become a volunteer?
Our website is www.mfb for Marana Food Bank - or a hyphen CRC for Community Resource Center.org. That is www.mfb-crc.org. Or you can call us at 520-697-0022, and we can certainly answer all of your questions. And again, I invite anyone and everyone in the community to come and volunteer, whether you can do an hour or 500 hours over the course of the year. We welcome you.
That's fantastic. And we'll make sure, I think that we can probably put that phone number and that website, embed it right into the podcast so that people have it available to them in case they're driving and listening and can't take that information down. They'll be able to reach out to you. So let's go, Marana, step up and jump in and help the Marana Food Bank here and Community Resource Center. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and this is a big thing. This is really significant. You guys have been leasing the property and the buildings that you're currently on from the Marana Health Center.
Correct.
And the Marana Health Center has come forward with, quite frankly, a really good deal for you guys and offered to sell it to you at a killer price. Let's talk about that. What's going on with that, and how are you guys going to manage that?
Yeah, so the offer, we were approached during the summer if we would be interested in purchasing the property. And so again, this year was going to be the baby steps for us to grow into the organization that we envision. A lot of curveballs. And so this was another curveball. But you know what? A wonderful opportunity from a wonderful organization here in the community. And so the owner, Marana Healthcare, again, approached us and offered the property for sale before it went on the market. So we are in an active capital campaign push for $220,000 as of today. We've either pledged or collected nearly $136,000 of our capital campaign. So this, the last we down in Sahuarita, we had a building campaign, and it's usually that last push that's the most difficult. So I knew we were going to get quickly to at least the 50% mark or even 60. Now we're in that phase 2 approach where we're asking the community, make your end of year contributions to our organization so we can continue the legacy for another 100 years here in Marana. So again, 136,000, where our goal is 220. So any contribution will help us.
So we're if I'm doing the math correctly in my head, and that wasn't my strong point in high school, or of course I don't know if I had a strong point in high school, but about $84,000, folks, is what we're looking for. And we've got 60,000 residents in this community. If every single person, donated even $1 per person in a household, man, we are getting really, really close to this.
Yeah,
that's
$1.
Right?
$1
per person, because we're about 62,000 people. Yeah. So, man, that would be fantastic. If and you think, well, what's a dollar going to do? What's a couple of dollars going to do? And clearly, if we have an entire community that comes together and says, hey, we're going to pitch in just a few bucks per household, it makes all the difference in the world. And you can get the Community Food Bank firmly established for
Marana Food Bank. Yeah.
What did I say?
The Community Food Bank, the Marana Food Bank.
The Marana Food Bank. Yes, I'm sorry. The Marana Food Bank firmly established here in the town of Marana, as you said, Carlos, for the next 100 years.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you and I will be here to
either
be serving it.
Yeah, we're going to be either pushed or in spirit, we will be here.
Very good. Well, Carlos, I really appreciate you being here on the show. Is there anything that you'd like to add or share with the listeners before we sign off?
No, I just the big thing. I want to make this brief and short. Again, we're approaching our 1-year anniversary, and without your support, the community support, we could not make this possible. And I, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I hope you all have a wonderful, safe, and joyous holiday season.
Oh, thank you, Carlos. And there you heard it. A very grateful and appreciative Executive Director of the Marana Food Bank and Community Resource Center. Carlos, always nice to see you. Always nice to have you on the show. Greatly appreciate it. To all of our listeners, look for opportunities to volunteer. Look for opportunities to donate, whether it's food or money. Help us get to that magic number that's needed to purchase that property outright. I know that Carlos and the rest of the staff would greatly appreciate it, and so will all of the amazing people that go there on a weekly basis to benefit from the food bank. So listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time. Submit your questions by visiting maranaaz.gov/realtalk, and we'll answer them right here. To receive notifications for new releases, remember to hit subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Also, remember to follow the town on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date on current news and events.